14 centuries ago, long before modern welfare laws, Islamic teachings laid out a comprehensive framework for how animals must be treated, with dignity, gentleness, and justice. Welcome to Al-Fitra Lifestyle, a channel dedicated to holistic Islamic wellness. Please consider subscribing to our channel to make sure you don't miss our future uploads. Your support also helps us grow and reach more people. In this video, we'll explore the timeless compassion embedded in the Islamic worldview when it comes to animals, and discuss our practical responsibilities in how we feed, care for, and interact with them. Islamic teachings don't treat kindness to animals as something optional or a matter of personal preference. It is a moral obligation. One of the most striking narrations is where the Prophet, peace be upon him, said that a person was forgiven for the seemingly simple act of giving water to a thirsty dog. This story is incredibly simple and incredibly profound. It tells us not only that an animal's suffering matters, but that relieving that suffering has immense spiritual weight. And it teaches us that mercy is not limited by species. Kind treatment of animals is an essential part of Islam. Neglect and abuse are considered serious sins. In an authentic narration, our Prophet, peace be upon him, told us of a person who would be punished for keeping a cat confined without feeding it. This narration draws attention to a difficult truth. If we take responsibility for a creature, a pet or a farm animal, then its well-being becomes our responsibility. The teaching goes deeper than simply, do not harm. It establishes that failing to provide food, water, shelter, or safety is itself an act of harm. Today, veterinarians emphasize that most animal suffering comes from neglect, lack of hydration, untreated illness, insufficient space, and emotional distress. Islamic ethics anticipated this by placing the burden squarely on human shoulders. Throughout history, animals have been harmed and abused for entertainment or due to harsh conditions. Sadly, countless animals still suffer due to inadequate regulation within entertainment industries, and we continue to hear reports about the cruel conditions of factory farms, stressful environments, and breeding practices that deprive animals of natural behavior. Islam unequivocally forbade such actions centuries before coherent animal welfare legislation existed. The Sunnah of the Prophet, peace be upon him, forbids using animals as targets for practice and hunting for sport. If an animal is put to work, it must be treated with dignity, meaning it must not be hit or branded on the face, and it must be kept healthy, fed, and given adequate rest to sustain its well-being. Even keeping an animal as a trophy, purely for the purpose of showing off, is discouraged. These should not be treated as scattered statements. They form a consistent moral pattern. You may never cause unnecessary pain to an animal for your own benefit, amusement, or convenience. Islam does not forbid the consumption of animals, but it sets strict conditions designed to minimize suffering. The Prophet, peace be upon him, instructed that we must adhere to standards of excellence when it comes to slaughter. This means the animal must be slaughtered with a sharp blade, swiftly, away from the sight of other animals, and, importantly, we are instructed to offer comfort and try to calm the animal to minimize fear or distress beforehand. This is a significant ethical shift. Slaughter is not merely a mechanical act. It is a moral act with consequences. Even insects, birds, and creatures we might consider insignificant fall under the umbrella of ethical treatment. We are encouraged to plant trees so they can provide food and shade for humans and animals, big and small. There's a well-known narration from the Prophet, peace be upon him, that condemns burning anthills, teaching us to treat ants as a nation like any other. In another narration, the Prophet, peace be upon him, advised a man to return the eggs he took from a nest because the mother bird was distressed. This teaches us that ethics are not limited to animals that benefit us, or those we consider more intelligent or familiar. Every form of life has its rightful place in the ecosystem. In opposition to many cultural practices and centuries ahead of modern animal welfare legislation, Islam established a comprehensive framework that grants animals safety, mercy, and dignity. These teachings should be studied, taught, and upheld within our families and communities, so we can adhere to the sunnah of our Prophet, peace be upon him, and lead by example in displaying mercy, righteousness, and excellence in all our affairs. If you found this video beneficial, please support this channel by liking this video, sharing it with someone who might find it helpful, and subscribing to make sure you don't miss future uploads. Thank you for watching, and see you again soon.